All right, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how we can do our layouts using InDesign. We're going to be doing some very basic InDesign tools just to get our pictures, our photos onto a page and do our photo essay. So you guys will have your 5 to 8 photos for your final. You're also going to include your writing portion and a title as well, and then also probably put in a little subheader, just with your name. So what you are going to start with first, let me go ahead and make a new document here. You're going to go to new document, and then you want to change a couple of things. We're going to be printing these on a A3 plus document. And so what that's going to look like is the width will be 19, the height will be 13. If you want it landscape, like kind of like book pages. If you want to make it more of a poster, you can do it portrait as well, but I'm going to be showing you a landscape document. All right, so that's going to give you a document that looks like this. You can see that there's these like pink and purple like kind of guidelines here. This is very similar to in Canva. You have the like danger zone for printing purposes, so you want to make sure not to put anything within that space. You kind of use that as like a bumper. All right, and then you can start out by creating where you want photos to go using the rectangle tool. So if you wanted to do like a front cover piece and you wanted it to be like one big photo here, you could. If you get to the center, you'll see like a green center line that can kind of act as if like these were book pages. It could be like the center fold of the book. I like to fill it in with a color just so I can see it, but you do want to make sure that you turn that off later, and I can show that to you then. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my five different photo layouts, and then I'll be back. All right, so I have 4 laid out now. I'm going to add in a last one. Some just good things to note with the rectangle tool. You could create, like you could fold out and make whatever size you want. If you hit shift, it'll give you like a uniform box. So it's giving me a square right now. I'm not gonna do that because none of my photos are square. And then I'm gonna go ahead here, let go of that. And then since this photo overlaps this photo, I'm gonna make the fill a different color just so I can tell those 2 photos apart. And now I'm gonna go up to my move tool, and then I can kind of lock this in place. Notice that when I get to the center line, I get this pink kind of guideline showing me that I'm at the center. And since we're working on a 19-inch document, your center is going to be 9.5. So if you look up here, you can kind of see that it has the little ruler here. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and insert some text before I start laying in my photos. You can kind of click to make your text box. This is where I'm going to put my title. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick my font. I'm gonna pick a font that complements my photos, doesn't really distract from it too much. Since it is my title, I am gonna go with a more bold option, and then I'm gonna change the font size. I'm gonna start it with 48 and I'll adjust from there. All right, so in here, oops. In here, I'm gonna go ahead, name mine. I'm gonna do all caps. Go back in, pick my font type, change my text size, and you're gonna see it's only going to, it'll cut the text off past the bounding box. So if I need to go ahead and change that, it's fine. I just make it a little bit bigger. And then from there, I might even want to make this a little bit bigger since this is going to be the only text on this page. Maybe I do, not 48, maybe I go to 36. And then again, need to adjust my bounding box. I want my bounding box to be like generally the size of my text, so when I line it up with things, it doesn't like misalign. So I can go ahead here, that's lining up with this. It's giving me my guideline for that. And then I know I'm at the centerfold mark lining up with this pink box. So I want to make sure I don't go past that. And I don't go into my other side as well. And I think we'll be good. All right, so I can also move this up a little bit, and then I can create another text box. And I could put my name there. And maybe you would want that to be all caps too to match the title. Maybe not. I would then pick Futura again, and I'm gonna do medium because I don't need this to be as bold. And then you want to make this a little bit bigger. I think I might try to do 24. And then again, I can kind of line this up with my other text box, and then that looks nice and concise. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you how to do a text wrap of an object. So thinking about where your essay will go in, I can make a giant text box here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hit fill with placeholder text, and it's just gonna put in like a bunch of like not real words. So now what I need to do is I need to go back to my rectangle tool, and I'm gonna line it up with this rectangle where I'll put a picture, but I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I don't need to add a fill, but now I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my text wrap tool. And then you can see it's going to create a boundary where it will not overlap with that rectangle that I made. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm just gonna take this one and copy and paste it, use my move tool. Oop. Make sure you're grabbing onto the right thing, and then I'm gonna line it up just so that I know that they're the same size, and then that will give me my space for my text. Now, I can go in and change things about my text box too, like if I want to go ahead and go into my bounding box here, and I want it to be like smaller, I can make that. I can pick how I kind of line it up with the rest of my page. Maybe I don't want it to go right up against the danger zone. So I give it some space, and then I would want to give it some space here too, because you don't really want your text to go like into the page fold. So I'm gonna give it generally the same amount of space on this side as well, and then that is where I could then place my essay. All right, so then now putting photos into this, I'm gonna go into my folder, find my final essay photos, and then you can just drag and drop them into these rectangles that you made. So you can select it, go ahead, place it on there. I picked this one because I wanted it to overlap, put it in, and then now you notice this is like cropped weird. So I'm gonna go ahead, get back into InDesign, and then I'm gonna go to fitting, and then fit frame proportionately, or I could undo. I could also do fit content proportionately. So this is just gonna make sure that the whole image is in without distorting it. This will kind of break the bounds of your box, and then you would wanna make sure that you go in and you turn off not only your fill, but also your stroke, so you don't have those black lines there. Again, this one over here, we could try to do that, see how that works out. Of course, if I wanted to move this down, I could do that as well, so those things kind of line up a little bit better. All right, and then over here, I created my text wrap, so I wanna make sure I'm just going into my box here, and I could put in. All right, so you can see here that in this, it attached to the second box that I used as my text wrap and not the middle one. So what I need to do now is I need to go ahead and undo that. And then I need to go up to my window, and I need to go ahead and select layers, and then it will let me open up my layers. So if I go here, it kind of has layers similar to Adobe Illustrator. And so I'm gonna open this, I'm gonna go ahead and try to find my different pathways. I know I'm selected on this one right now because I have this blue dot. And then I need to just make sure that I raise this above everything else so that when I drop in my image, it'll drop into that one. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, take this image in, and now it will ignore the text wrap. And then even with my text wrap here, I wanna maybe click on that and then turn off my stroke while I'm thinking about it. Okay, same thing with this one. I'm gonna go ahead, click on this one, make sure I'm not clicking on my text wrap and just the rectangle itself. So I might have to move my text wrap. Oh, there we go. Move this one to the very top. Move my text box back. And then now I can click into this rectangle and I can place in whatever image I need for this one. All right, and then now with both of these, I'm gonna go ahead to my fitting, fit frame proportionately, go to this one, fit frame proportionately, and then for this last one, I'm gonna just drag in this image. And then for this one, I would like to do content aware fit. No. And then I can go in and I can turn off my fill. And then I could go in and I could adjust this a little bit more from here, but I would have to change how the fit is. So fit frame proportionately, I could go ahead and open this up a little bit. Maybe I move it here and line it up so I don't go overlap with my title. And then there you have it. The last thing you would need to do was take the text from your written essay and then just put in the real text. So that's how you do an InDesign layout. This is all you really need to know for this assignment. There's much more you can do in InDesign, but for the sake of our final, these are the only things you need to know. All right, great. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.